Hi, everybody. It's Tuesday.
Is it Tuesday?
I think
It
so. I
is.
mean,
It's
I
hard to
mean,
tell.
I had to go to work the second day in a row, so I think it's Tuesday.
Second day in a row. Oh,
Oh man, you did 2 days in a row?
I did, man. I don't learn. Every year I say I'm going to take off the following Monday, and I don't.
I can't, man. I need a day to get my feet to swell back to normal size.
you need a day to deflate your feet.
I'm
That's
glad
right.
I'm not the only one that happens to.
Yeah, dude.
Shit.
It's a thing.
See, with me is I can't take off the Monday because usually I have somebody in my house, so it's not like I have the house to myself. So it's like, oh, look, I'm off Monday, but you gotta do
Oh,
everything around the house and deal with
wait.
my crazy 3-year-old.
Oh, because she doesn't go to school on Mondays.
She does, but only till 11:45. So
Oh.
yeah, and then before that, they're here. They take her to school. Then they hang out here until they pick her up. So it's like, I don't want that. I want to be home.
Who's they?
My in-laws or my parents.
Oh.
Them, the people.
Them people.
Maybe
Those
you could
people.
get like a hotel room like in your town and just stay there
And
on,
just
on Monday.
After spending 3 nights in a hotel, another hotel room, get another one.
I look forward to hotel rooms. They got really nice beds. And every time I stay in a hotel, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get me one of these beds, or those pillows that they have. What are those pillows that they have? They're firm yet soft at the same time, and they like contour straight to your head. It's like the greatest thing ever. I love them, and
They're
they give you
kind of good
four
for
of them.
blocking out noise too.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who'd you room with? Who'd you have to block out?
Who else?
Here we go. Here we go.
Now, did you put a pillow on top of your head, or did you try to put a pillow on top of his head?
There was one point that I was gonna actually fucking hit him with something. I would just curse at him really loud. I'm like, "Shut the fuck up!" And he would wake up and he would stop. And then I'd be like, "Oh yeah, it's time to fall back asleep."
So, who
Like,
here has roomed together before on one of these little like realm, convention con excursions? I know Dave and I have, and I've roomed with.
I've roomed with JD before.
yeah.
I
I've
think the
roomed-
only one I haven't roomed with is JD. I think I roomed with all the rest of you.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever roomed with Gary.
No, I haven't done that. I did room with Jose once at JCC, and then
And I roomed with Brian before.
I mean, just staying at like Bobby's or the Pinkertons, does that help?
no, that doesn't count because you've got everybody there.
Yeah, that doesn't count because you don't know who's snoring or who's farting.
Right.
Yeah.
Listening.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
Yeah. But hey, so happy Tuesday, fellas. I'm John Addict. I'm gonna go down the panel and ask everybody how they're doing. So, Brian, how are you?
Like I said, being able to put my feet back into my shoes again is fantastic,
Oof.
and I think I am caught up on sleep. I haven't played with anything that I picked up at the con yet, except for my one coffee mug here to drink coffee out of, and I'm missing you guys. I guess
Yeah.
I'm trying to do regular real world things, and I have no interest, zero interest. So yeah, that kind of stinks. And that's how I am. That's how I am. Other than that, you know where I've been and what I've been doing.
We'll get into that in a
Lots of
little
stuff.
bit, I think.
You
Right?
don't know where I've been, Lou.
Hey, Blabber Cheeks, how you doing, Mr.
Blabber
Meatbag?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm like Brian said. I'm a little sad too. It's, not getting to hang out with you guys on the reg. Yeah, but it was a good time. I'm just tired and
We all sound like we've been dragged through the fucking mud.
yeah, like
Not had the greatest time of the year, but instead we're just like,
Yeah. People are like, "How was your vacation?" I'm like, "I don't know. I don't really consider it a vacation.
I don't want to talk to you about it.
There's no. It's just like I'm just completely exhausted afterwards.
Yeah, we're definitely recovering, tired. We did absolutely nothing yesterday. We laid in bed, and Elijah got a ride home from work and stopped at Nito Burrito for us and brought us burritos. We ate burritos from bed, and I played Gears of War and yelled at the TV, and that was about it.
Wow,
Yeah,
it's great.
yeah.
Well, damn, better than I've been doing.
Mm.
How about you, G Money?
I feel kind of the same. I'm actually off this week, but I've got my little adventure tomorrow back down to the Anything Goes state of Florida to close on the new house. So yesterday and today was a lot of just running around and wrapping up some, the loose ends for that with the bank and the closing money and transfers and, just a lot of miscellaneous stuff with that, which is not terribly tiring.
You got the bank check? You got the bank check?
You wire it. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, you do it all that way now. Which is actually a little scary because I've done it that way in the past, and you hear nothing about all these things for wire fraud and all these instructions on how to do it. And it's like a fine balance. I think it's like, when I don't know if anyone ever has a credit card, get flagged for fraud if you are making like out of your normal habit purchases or you travel and you don't call ahead of time. It's like you appreciate it, but at the same time, it's like you're kind of creating an inconvenience too sometimes. That's just a little more of a headache, I think, than I thought it would be, but it all worked out fine just to get it done. So,
Well, why do you say anything goes in Florida? Is that on their license plate?
That seems to be a bit of a common thread. I just seem to be finding in things. So, I'll let you guys know over the next few months if it's really like that still, or if it's just like every state that has a perception to it. So, we'll see. But no, it was a great weekend. I know we'll talk about it. I just I think it's like to get back into your regular routines and things like that. It takes a lot of energy so
Cool.
Yeah.
Mr. Dominic Grosso, how are you?
Pretty good, Dave. Pretty good. It was fun. We had a great weekend. I enjoyed it very much. So. Just so exhausted.
You act like I'm pulling your fucking toenails off. Jeez.
Yeah, pretty much.
All of us, with the exception of Gary, have been just like,
It was wonderful. Getting back into things was a little hard, so the rest was something needed because I think I slept early. Yes, went to bed early. Yes, last night. But then when I got home, I kind of that Sunday, we got home at a decent time, so it was nice to just relax and then get into bed a little early. But yeah, I caught up on sleep. But
Nice.
It's fun.
Did you have work on Monday or you were off?
Actually, I worked from home on Monday. I was able to work from home. I logged on. I was gonna do some reports, send them out before I left the house, and then I saw my boss online, and I was like, "Hey, would it be okay if I worked from home? I'm kind of exhausted. My knee's killing me." And,
my knee.
Yeah.
no resting.
So it was. So he said, "Yeah, no problem." So he did. So he left me working from home. He was working from home as well, so it wasn't like a big deal. But it was good. He was able to relax on the couch, get some work done, and he just relaxed a little bit instead of going in and commuting and driving again, and which we did enough driving for the weekend. So.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Did you guys hit traffic on the way back? Just kind of curious.
Yes.
Nope.
I did.
Here a little bit here and there, like nothing too crazy. There's just more due to like road construction, but other than that, nothing.
I hit I counted 7 accidents. I think when I left, it was like in the peak of the rain. So it should have been a 6-hour drive. Was probably a little bit over 7 by the time I got all the way back here. So I was kind of over it by then. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a fucking hike. Shit.
Yeah, I always, when I lived in Chicago and my family is in the Midwest in Ohio, that's about a 5.5 hour drive to when I go see my parents. And I could do that for a weekend and, not really get phased too much by it. Now I was a little younger, of course, no jokes. But it was one of those easy drives where it's just flat. Once you get out of Chicago, you hit, the border for Indiana into Ohio. There's nothing to see but farms, and you're just on the, the turnpike, toll road, and it's pretty straightforward. But some of these drives are definitely a bit more, just more challenging. For me, I got to fight all the way down into New Jersey, across New Jersey, and then get through Baltimore, and then resting so close to DC. There's a lot of spots to really, have it slow you down. So it was a trek coming home, and I think it's also the fact, as I'm excited as I am to see my wife, it's the end of the weekend versus, when you're heading out that way on Thursday, you're just like, I just want to get there, just want to get there kind of thing. So
yeah.
Makes it feel a little longer.
The boys were sleeping in the back. I think Dave, you were in the back to drive home, right? You took a little nap.
Yeah, I had to.
Yeah, because you were driving. Yeah, you're driving the rest of the leg.
All right, so I will tell a little funny story though that happened to me. So I left probably, Dave, what was it? Maybe on Sunday, like 11:15 ish.
Sounds right.
It was pretty early, right? And you guys left not too much longer behind me. And I had stopped once, I think, to go to the bathroom, and I think I stopped one other time just to stretch because the traffic was a little harder. But I was on the New Jersey Turnpike, and Dom, I thought I saw your car, same color rims, right? And I was like, holy crap, how did those guys catch me, right? First of all, I'm like, how long did I stop for? I only stopped for like 10, 12 minutes. Like, I didn't stop and rest and do stuff. And I was about to pull up next to it and start waving stuff. And I'm glad I paused and looked at the Caucasian female driver. I realized that, but it had New Jersey tags also. So at a glance, I was just, like I said, I kind of did a double take. I was like, wait, and I had to do the math in my head. I'm like, there's no way that those guys could have caught me. Like, no way whatsoever.
Well, I had Dave in the back of the car running as well, so I got that extra horsepower. Right?
I gotta say, Dom, you did pretty good driving this time around.
Yeah, I was going down there. We had some critics. That one girl that was driving to her campus dorm or something.
Oh yeah. So on the way up, right? So we had this blonde chick. She was driving a
Civic, I think it was
no, it was an Altima. It was an Altima.
Yeah.
And she's on the right of us, and she's going like this, get out of the left lane. Mind you, Dom's doing like 70. You know what I mean?
I was doing 80. I was doing like 85.
Whatever, bro. You were going fast enough, but she was getting so aggy. So then it got to the point where she got in front of us for a few seconds, and then we started lane shifting a bit. Like Dom would go into the right lane because it was free, zoom up. And before you knew it, she was like 10 cars in back of us. And we were all like, every time she passes, we would laugh at her. And Eric and Eric was kind of like, I'm going to give her the finger. I was like, yeah, you don't need to do that. It's all right. She's pissed off enough. But it was just funny to see her having a fucking conniption in her car just because she wanted to go around us. But she didn't know how to drive anyway.
Very funny. It was nice. Amusement for the day.
Yeah. So what happened? Who dropped out? JD.
JD. We lost JD.
All right. Well, talking about amusement, we had a fun-filled weekend, I would say, with a lot of fun stories. We weren't all together the whole time, believe it or not. So let's start talking about our highlights of the weekend a bit, and maybe we can go into also the highlights of the show. That other thing we went there for.
Right. Well, I'll say this. I think a lot of shows on the Cool Table will often talk about, convention advice and etiquette, right? And protocol of hygiene, right? We joke, but it's the true thing. I hate to say it. It's unfortunate. But Dave gave me some really good advice. This was my third TF Con. And it was the second time being at the Reston location. And Dave, if you remember, you told me like I was new to the group and to everybody. I was so excited to meet so many people for the first time. It can be a little overwhelming, and you feel like that FOMO becomes real. Like you're like, I don't want to miss out on this, or these guys get together and did something, and who's doing what, and you get so excited because you don't want to miss anything. I just had a better approach this time, and I had a great weekend, and I felt cheesy because I kept saying it to whoever I was with, either at lunch or at dinner. Just kind of enjoying being in the moment for whoever I had a chance to talk to. And you always end up wishing you had more time to see more people. And, some people are there working and some people are there with their families also. But I got to say, I enjoyed pretty much every minute that I was there in the show, outside of the show, because of not stressing so much about, what I was missing and just really being in the moment. As cliche and cheesy as that may sound when I say it out loud. But I think it really contributed to a great weekend for that part, where it was just, hey, here's what we were going to do, and tried to hit a variety of different activities and different people, without trying to stress about getting this done or a timetable or my only timetable was when we were going to eat, of course, which is part of the course for me. But so I don't know, just made it really a fun weekend. I think just for whatever was going on at the time.
Yeah. I gotta say, you were much better this time, Gary, with your hangries.
I stayed ahead of it, right? I did a better job.
You were pretty good, and I made sure you ate 3 meals a day at least. So
that you saw.
Yeah.
No, I did. No, it was actually I brought enough stuff just for the same reason, just so that I wouldn't have to even worry about that as much. You know what I mean? So that I could kind of just keep some of the routines that worked for me. So it worked out really well. It was a great thing. And Dom, thanks again for setting up the room the way you did. I thought that worked out really great. I had a lot of fun with that too.
Yeah, but Dom, we're gonna need 2 fridges for Gary next time because he fucking built the first one up.
Did you guys know that we had fridges in our room too?
Yeah, there's one. I had stuff in that one too.
Oh, geez,
Gary. We had a fridge in our room too, Dave, that we never used.
You would think Gary thought there was no food in resting the way he fucking packs fucking meals for fucking days.
That's how it happens.
I can't blame him. We kind of did the same thing. Just so we weren't eating trash.
Yeah. Was it Eric or Dom who called it space food?
I think it was Eric. Yeah, Eric was like, this is all compartmentalized. And
yeah, he's like, would you bring astronaut food with you? What's all this stuff? It's fine.
That was funny.
And you flavor your space food with mustard. It turns out.
Oh, he had that there. He had.
I'm like, why is there mustard in this room?
That's true. It's true because believe it or not, just a side note, mustard and buffalo sauce are both freebies. So there's nothing really in them. There's no carbs and there's no sugar. So
they're freebies.
Yes. So if you need to put something on your generic food that that's clean, you can
spice it up or give some flavor.
Choke it down.
Yeah. But why yellow mustard?
Oh, I love Heinz yellow mustard. It's delicious. Yeah, not French.
You like the golds. You like the golds, right, Brian?
But that's different, though. There's other stuff in there, so it's not as.
It's not a freebie, Brian.
It's not a freebie. Yellow mustard is mostly just vinegar, so a little bit of salt.
You couldn't go with French's? Isn't French's like the?
Oh, Heinz mustard is delicious. Oh no, I did that on purpose.
Oh.
Funny side note: I used to only be able to buy that Heinz mustard either in a restaurant store or in those picnic 3-packs with they do the ketchup, the relish, and the mustard.
Right.
And for years I would have to buy the 3-pack and donate the ketchup and the relish to a food drive or something because it's the only way I could get the mustard. I kid you not. It's delicious.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah, but it's become a bit more widespread now. So crisis averted.
Heinz over French's. That's nice.
Yeah.
No Grey Poupon for Gary.
No, not for me. No.
Oh man. What were you talking about? Favorite times?
It's a free for all, Brian. Just say whatever you remember.
I don't know, Gary. Yeah, to carry off from you, there were people at the show that I wanted to talk to and didn't get a chance to talk to again. And I'm like, son of a bitch. I saw him at the rock party. I'm like, all right, there he is. And then I get distracted with something else, right? And then I'm like, okay, maybe I'll see him on the floor the next day. and I don't see the person. I'm like, God, you know what? I just want to have a 5-minute conversation,
Mhm.
and that kind of really ticked me off.
It's hard, right?
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough.
It's like
But-
it's like I had many micro conversations, but I never
Right.
had like a macro conversation with anyone where I was, engaged for a good 30 minutes with anyone. But it was very small little talks here and there with people, which is always nice, which is great. And then, but like you would like to have some conversations, which I eventually started having at like later that Saturday night and stuff like that. But at the beginning, it was like a little micro conversation with everybody, moved on to the next person. Everyone's shifting around, and it was just hard to kind of keep focus on one person and talk to everybody.
It's funny you say
for
that,
long.
Dom, because I listened to you for like 45 minutes, like you were Mr. Football Star giving out your autograph on
Oh.
Saturday night.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, when we were
really?
sitting in that back corner, yeah.
Yeah.
We were with a couple guys back there, and it was good. It was like
Yeah, it
that
was
that
cool.
kind of that kind of atmosphere was pretty cool,
Yeah.
and sharing some secrets and stuff like that.
But yeah, it was like ever rotating people back there,
Yeah,
like
that
in
was
the
pretty
lobby
cool.
there. Yeah.
So it was,
No,
and
it's just
then
kidding.
yeah, I know. But but that's like I was saying, JD. Like until that night, until that moment, that's kind of where we actually sat down and had a little bit more than a 10-minute conversation with somebody.
Yep.
So
Well, I had a convention first happen on this trip that I could share if anybody cares.
Let's do it.
man.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
I figure,
What's
right?
your
No.
first?
So what'd you say, Dave?
What's his name?
Ha, actually, here's the name. So I always
Went out.
Ronaldo.
Coming
say
out.
when I go to these places, if they have like a gym, if anyone's interested, when we did the wellness and just to put it in the group. But I really appreciate on Friday, Mike Kincaid and Nate and Vanessa, we all went down to the gym together and got in a good workout with not by myself. Let's put it that way. So that was pretty cool. I appreciate it.
Nice. Did Mike let you spot her?
So no, Vanessa did her own
I'm
thing.
just joking. Jeez.
It
But-
looked like he was humping his desk there for a minute.
That was
The funny
Did you
thing
guys do
was,
that after breakfast?
well, we did. So I went. So it's going to surprise anyone who sees me get tired at 9:15 on the show, right? That I still go to bed relatively early, so I do miss out on some craziness sometimes. But I still get up really early, and kind of kept my routine. So Friday, Mike and I were supposed to meet at like 6, and so I got up, went down, did my thing. Didn't see him. Kind of figured stuff came up. He was setting up the night before anyway. We're getting in and unloading for his booth, and then it was probably a little bit before 8. He texted me and said, "Hey, I'm woke up late. Did I miss you?" And I said, "Yeah, I already went, but we're gonna go to breakfast." And we ran into them for breakfast, and then they didn't have to set up for a few hours, so we went to breakfast and then went back and kind of digested stuff and went back down again. So it was a pretty thorough day for me on Friday, which was actually pretty cool. Believe it or not, as boring as it sounds, it actually. It was cool to be able to do that with somebody else and just enjoy the not being rushed through it with work and stuff like that and trying to fit it in. So it worked out great. It was good.
Very happy for you.
So someone took me up on the offer finally. Yeah, it's great.
So,
Okay. It was funny because Gary sometimes he'll see his text say, "Anybody up for breakfast? Anybody up for lunch?"
Well, that's all we can do. Some of the group chats is just put it out.
Yeah,
See
Yeah,
who's
yeah.
around, right? And be like, "Oh, we can do that. We can do that."
did you get breakfast by yourself, Gary, on Sunday? Was it? I think Sunday was when you had crickets on.
Yeah, Sunday I
Yeah,
went
yeah.
down to I went down and did my thing in the gym, and I just ended up go down to the Panera that was right there in the hotel for egg whites and stuff. So
That Panera, man, they were kind of on point on Friday, but then was it Saturday? I can't remember maybe it was Sunday. They were a mess, man. Their instant order machines are down, and the line was super long, and I didn't have coffee on Sunday. I was really upset. But anyway, did anybody else get really tore up at all besides me?
I got wasted.
Not this year.
I got completely trashed the whole weekend.
You know, I don't.
What?
Apple juice,
And cupcakes.
water, and cupcake. Yeah, dude, I was totally sugar wasted. No.
Were you guys around Friday night? Like down at the bar? Because I don't
Yeah.
remember seeing you guys
Yes,
Friday.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. I was
Yeah.
yes. I was down at the bar when shots were being given.
So we were outside the bar, like that in the courtyard.
Uh-huh.
We were out there with a bunch of people
Now, in the back, JD, or in the
Yeah.
front? In the back.
in the back.
Right?
Yep.
All right, because
Yeah,
I was
'cause
out there.
that's where I saw you guys all joined up, and then like a brigade of people started coming inside.
Yeah, we ended
headed
up
to the
inside
bar.
there, after a while.
Okay. Yeah, I
And then
came
everybody
in with
comes
the brigade.
running. You guys need to get Wayne up to his room.
Yeah, that's
We hope he's all right.
all right. So,
So-
that was Friday night. Is that Friday night or Saturday?
Yeah.
That's Friday night, right?
Friday
Yeah,
night.
that's Friday
yeah,
night.
So it was. I think it was Robert D was fucking out his face. So he was who we were taking care of at the moment, right? Because if anybody who wasn't there and know who Robert D is very generous, a very
Yes,
generous
very.
individual. His job, his mission, his goal was to get everybody at TFCon drunk. So he was buying round after round of shots of Jameson for people. And when I say round after round, I mean like 40 shots at a time, not like 10 like a normal night.
And they were doubles. Like they were. I was like, this is like 2 gulps. It was hey man. So keep going, Dave.
So I don't drink. I don't drink much. So I wasn't there for much of that, but I did see those rounds go around, and I just saw the look on some people's faces when they were like trying to turn the shots down, and you're drinking it, and they would take the shot, and their face would all fucking
Yeah.
rustle up, and everybody would all cringe at the same time, and then 10 minutes later another round would go up. But that night Robert was across the street, and there was like a little park area across the hotel, and him, Chris, and Jose were there, just like basically like holding hands and laying, talking on the bench or whatever. And me, Dom, and Herrick go see what's going on. Like, we see them over there, like, hey, what are you guys doing over here in the dark? But they were just brainstorming, and Robert was just in another world. And within maybe like 15 minutes, it turned into like a little crowd. So I think Chuck and Wayne came across the street, and they're yelling, "What are you guys doing?" Chuck's yelling at us. Wayne's coming, and Wayne, for the most part, is a quiet dude. He was blabbing off of a million things that day, and I didn't even know what the fuck he was saying. He was just like, he's calling me Pinkerton, he's calling Brian Jose, and he's just like, I love you all, and I watch you guys, and I'm glad I'm here. We were like, yeah, Wayne, you're the man. It was just all that shit. So it got to the point where we were like, all right, we're going back in. And Wayne was just like, I don't want to go back in. So it was like, we got to try to force him to get back. Like, that's it, man. No more. Like, that's no more drinking. But I mean, we had a great time. We had a lot of laughs, and it was great seeing him smile and enjoy the company he was with, because for me, it was the first time meeting him. Some of you guys met him at the RetroCon.
Mm-hmm.
So me getting to know him a little bit that night, I was just like, man, this dude is a little more, because we hung out throughout, that day and the day prior. He's a great dude, man. And to see him so happy, and to see that he was having a good time, essentially with people he never really met, meant the world to me. I was happy for him. He made me happy. Like, seeing him all giggly made me giggly. You know what I mean? So
Nice.
it was a good time.
Yeah.
I think he came knocking on our door that night too, right, Tom?
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
he did. He
It
did.
was like 2:00 in the morning. I think he wanted to hang out a little more.
Continue a
Dom
party.
I was already in the shower, and Dom's like, I think somebody's knocking on the door, but I didn't want to get out of bed.
After he'd already been escorted to his room twice.
Exactly.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, and then I think he came out, and me, Jose, and Craig were hanging out in that little park thing, And then he shows up, and I'm like, Wayne, I thought Chuck took you back to your room. And so I think, man, me and Jose got him back to his room, and because I was like, I promised Chan I was gonna get you back to your room, so I'm getting you back to your room. And so I did that, and actually, it's funny. Thursday night, I hung out with Wayne till really late as well. Thursday night, he happened to he was roaming down my floor's hallway while I was trying to do that video of pretending to open up my door with a GameStop card.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
saw that? So I was like, Wayne, I'm glad you're here. You can help me do this. So that was kind of fun.
Got to do a
Yeah.
little skit.
Yeah, I mean, because obviously Friday night, I don't remember really much what happened, but people told me I had a really good time, and I was handing out snacks out of my pockets and taking the
Yeah, you
snacks
were.
back. And
Taking out snacks out of your pocket.
Well, I
He
gotta
was like
tell you,
Eddie
Brian,
Burger.
it was probably 11 on Saturday, right on the show morning when I ran into you when you first got down there, right?
Uh-huh.
It was, and I'll be honest, I had no idea like what had happened because you were just in such a good mood. You're like, "Hey, Gary," you're like, "I'm gonna get some coffee. You want some coffee?" I'm like, "Sure, let's go."
Yeah.
And I really didn't realize until you started talking. You're like, I think I don't have a hangover yet because I think I'm still kind of feeling
Yeah.
last night.
Yeah.
It's pretty
But
funny.
but that's not how Dave saw me that first morning. That first.
Yeah, we saw
Oh
you.
God! So I woke up. Well, Saturday we got up early and we went to go to the dealer room. I wanted to try to get the exclusives before the show started because I had an exhibitor pass that was given to me by Hanny. Thank you, Hanny, if you listen. And they weren't selling them to exhibitors this time around. They were all about the people. So they were like, if you want one, you're gonna have to wait until after everybody else gets online, or wait till 10 o'clock, which made no sense because the line basically went so deep, so long that they sold out before even 10 o'clock hit. People were still online at 10 o'clock, I think. So, but we got online like regular people and got one. But anyway, I saw people lining up to get into the show, and when I get there, I see a few of my favorite people, Cybertron Warriors, Chuck, and my other boy who I see all the time in all these different shows. And it just so happened that I pull up and they're like, "Yeah, we were just talking about you." And I was like, "Talking about me? All right, what'd I do?" They're like, "Oh no, we're just all talking about how such a great guy you are." And I don't think these three have ever really interacted until that day. And they were just hanging out, sitting Indian style on the floor, telling stories about different meetups at different times that they saw us, which was great. So I snapped a picture with them and Antoine, I think, before I went into the dealer room. As I'm online, I'm trying to explain to them, like, hey, look, like this one looks a little limited. This is the exclusive you might want to get. I see Brian walk by, and I'm like, bro, he has a hoodie on, and this is Brian Brink with a hoodie on, and I'm like, yo, Brian. He turns around, he's like, huh? I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? I was like, dude, get online. I need you to get me an exclusive. And he was like, Dave, no. No, Dave, no. And I'm like, why? He's like, I'm going back to bed. I think I'm still drunk. And I was like, you look still drunk. And he goes, yeah, I can't be down here. So I was just like, all right, dude. I was like, you go back to bed. You all right? He was like, I think so. Like every answer with Brian was, I think so.
I
think so.
I wasn't there to talk. I was there to drop off cash to Chris and get back upstairs.
I've never seen him like that. He looked like he literally just hit the bed. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, that's a problem, man. When you room with Jose, like you go upstairs to go to bed, but it doesn't. That's not what happens.
Stop.
That's not bedtime, right?
Talk. Not that the conversations are bad. I just wish
true.
that I remembered. Yeah, that's all good stuff. But the funny thing is, Dave, is after I saw you, I happened to see Bobby's daughter Jaina just like with her hands on the railing, just looking down, checking stuff out. And at this time, I don't know what I look like. Like you just described what I look like. Like to me, I didn't look in a mirror before I left the room, right? I just threw on a hat and a coat, and I didn't think I smelled like I smelled like what Chris said yesterday. So anyway, I see his daughter. Like, hey Jane, what are you doing? She's like, well, I'm kind of stuck here. My whole family's in there, and I don't have a pass, so I can't get in. And
no.
I can't. And she's like, I can't get into my room. And I'm like, wow, so you're out here, and they're in there, and you don't have a phone, right? So you can't call them? She's like, nope. And I'm like, let's think about this. How do we fix this? And I was like, oh, you know what you need? You need somebody that knows your parents that can call them. And she's like, yeah, that would work. And I'm like, hey,
Sitting
wait
there
a
with-
minute. I was like, wait a minute, I can do that. I was like, do you mind if I call your dad? And she's like, no, it's fine. And it was kind of cool. Bobby's like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, Jane is out here. And he sent Laura out to get her. But I just can't imagine this this young girl sees this friend of
The
her
thought
dad's
process.
who stinks and looks like the bag of rocks. What do you say, Dave? And stumbling and can't think. It's just, yeah, that's just kind of funny.
Oh God. Fine. We can't take you anywhere.
I was just like, wait a minute, I can help. I can do this.
I can do this.
Oh, I'm just glad he answered the phone. I was like, I gotta get back to bed. But anyway,
So somebody in the chat wrote, "Is this the final episode?" It sounds like we're telling old stories. No, I'm sorry, minifigure collector. We just were at a event this past week together, and we're just telling funny stories because we're so exhausted that we couldn't come up with anything much better than to talk about this weekend right now. But I could honestly, I would like to talk about this though.
It's probably because the title of the show is
what?
so hard to say goodbye.
Oh, that's true
It's
too, right?
so hard
Yeah, it gives the wrong impression. Maybe.
Oh well,
to say
it's all right.
Out of context, yeah.
evidently Dave, thanks for setting up the show, so I didn't have to do it. That was awesome.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to do it, hoping you did. And when 7:15 hit, I was like, looks like I'm gonna have to do it.
I was working late and I was still eating, and I was like, all right, I'll get to it in a minute.
All right.
There it was there.
So I'll say this: most of us came up on Thursday, right? We all did,
Mhm.
right? At least this crew did. And what's nice about coming in Thursday is you kind of get that alone time. You know how you all said you only got little spurts with people, 3-4 minutes here. Thursday, there's probably only a good 20 people there as opposed to 60 or 70 or whatever it is. So it's easier to get around then. You know what I mean? You could have more of those one-on-one conversations with people. And we got there. We basically, we met up with each other, and then we met up with Nick Brammer and his wife and his son, and we all went to lunch, which was nice. So I got to meet Kate and Cal, which was nice.
That was cool.
We went to Gary's favorite burger place too in Reston, so that was cool. And you just start seeing the slews of people coming in little by little. You're like every time you get back to the hotel, you turn another corridor, you see somebody else, and you're like, oh, like come in here. And before you know it, we took over that front of the hotel that night. Like we had everybody out there, and even more people started showing up to the point where when it was time to go to dinner, I think it was like 10 of us that said we were gonna go. By the time we actually made it to the restaurant, we had a little bit of a wait. I think at the end of it, it was like 19 of us.
Yeah, it's like almost like 2 10-person groups almost, I think.
Right. So like it was kind of fucked up because I had to call in the reservation, which Darius helped me do because Darius got there. He's like, yeah, you got to call ahead. Thank God he told me to do that because we would have probably been waiting a little longer.
Mm-hmm.
And they told us 45 minutes. So I said, cool. So it took us about 10 minutes to get there. We waited outside for the rest of the time. But every time more people kept showing up, I had to go back to the poor girl at the desk and go, "Can you accommodate 2 more people?" And I think the last time I went in, I was like, "Can you accommodate 5 more people?" And she was like, "I'll try my best." I said, "Look, at this point, just separate us all if you can." And they did, which was nice.
Yeah, just fit us where you can.
Mm-hmm. And we went to Bar Taco, which is
Oh,
amazing place for tacos.
oh.
I think we all had a pretty good time there, right?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yep.
Yeah, I showed up late and I happened to see Caleb in the hotel. I was like, Caleb, what are you doing? It's like, I'm trying to find some place to eat. I was like, follow me. We're going to Bar Taco.
This is ridiculous. It was
Yeah.
so good.
I actually ate 2 dinners that night. I was kind of mad at myself. I was like, because I ate dinner at Chris's Dust Barbecued. And then I was like, well, I always wanted to go to this place. Might as well just do it.
You went in too, right? How many
Yeah.
tacos did you have?
I had 8.
No,
I had
8.
8 tacos.
we
they're
all
small.
did it.
They are small. No, don't make it
Yeah.
sound like you had 8 freaking,
Doritos or something.
So Gary, would you say like they're so small that the carb content isn't that much?
I don't know. I had mine with lettuce.
Ah,
And they were so delicious.
Oh God.
Oh.
what
I
was
tell
your
you though,
favorite taco?
He
I
didn't
like-
have a taco. He had a
I like,
lettuce.
I like the fish tacos.
Yeah,
Those are
lettuce.
good. I did the fish and mushroom, like the 2 separate, like fish and mushroom.
Fuck that shit. That pork belly. Oh,
Yeah.
You guys in the pork belly, yeah.
It's so good, Gary.
oh
you
my
try
god.
one?
Oh no.
Oh, dude, yeah, amazing. Probably the best. The duck one was pretty good too.
The duck
Yeah,
was
the
pretty
Duck was
good, too.
yeah.
I really like the Brussels sprouts one. Actually, believe it or not.
I didn't try that one.
Yeah,
Maybe
it was
next,
good.
maybe
I got a
another
couple
time.
of those.
I was
And I-
also a big fan of the chorizo.
Was that the one with the green sauce on it?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, those were spicy as fuck.
Mhm.
Yep. Yeah, that
Dude,
one
that
was good.
That guacamole that we had in the beginning, it was fucking spicy as shit.
Yeah.
Dude, that spice when Dave warned us, he's like, no, like the carnitas one's really spicy. So Caleb got it, and Caleb's from California. He's like, he ate it. It's fine. He's like, but out there they eat all that spicy food. And I was like, well, Dave's a wuss anyway. It doesn't. So I ended up getting one in my next round, and I took a bite of it, and I was like, woo, man. That thing was great though, because like the first, they layer the flavor. So like when you take the first bite, you're like, oh, that's great, and then all of a sudden the heat hits you
The hot
later.
comes in.
Yep.
Hot comes after.
That's good stuff. But yeah, I can't wait to. Hopefully they go back there again sometime. And actually, maybe next time I'm down in that area, I might just drive down the rest of it and go there. That place is awesome.
I heard there's one in Poughkeepsie.
Oh, really?
I think.
Really? I know there's one in Tampa. If anybody comes down to visit,
I think
Wait.
Gort told me there was one somewhere. It's not Poughkeepsie. It's something that sounds like that, or it starts with a P.
Parsippany?
Parsippany?
It's not Parsippany.
Oh,
Yeah, that's where.
Because then we would.
Toy-Con is.
we'd be
Yeah,
going
we'd be
on
going
that.
there.
Yeah.
yeah, for
Because
sure.
Poughkeepsie's a haul. That's up by Gary, right?
Yeah.
On the way to Gary, anyway.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, it's good times.
If only we had some devices to. Let's see.
Yeah, I know. Look it up, right?
Yeah, let's see real quick.
So, can anybody maybe point out somebody that they got to interact with that they normally wouldn't have in person, and kind
We
of?
saw Sportimus. Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
that
what
was
a
cool.
minute.
elevator.
Yeah.
This was there.
That was Thursday night, wasn't it? Thursday or
Yep.
Friday night? That was Thursday. I think I can't remember. The nights all kind of.
Yeah, I think
Chill
we talked
together.
about both nights. Now I think about it.
Yeah, I saw him. We were getting on. We were all in the because he was looking for us. It was funny because he was like looking for us, and I think it was Thursday because we were all by the fountain in the lobby area, like outside in the where the cars like drive up. So we were in that fountain area, a lot of us, and I guess he was looking for us throughout the hotel in the lobby inside where the bar was, and he couldn't find us. And eventually, I guess we were calling it a night, and we were walking over into the elevators, and I guess he spotted us, and he was following us, and our introductions were in the elevator, and it was kind of nice. It was a kind of a surreal
Didn't he
moment.
come up to you and Eric and were like, "Are you guys Realm?"
Yeah, you guys were.
Yeah. And then we were like,
"Yep."
"Yeah." And then he got off the elevator, and then I came
Yep,
out,
yep.
and I was like, "What's going on?" And he's like, "This sport."
Yep.
I'm like, "Yo."
We would just have a good 5, 10, 15-minute conversation outside the elevator bank and just having a good time catching up.
Yeah, for future reference, anybody ever gonna go meet up with the realm with the loiterers out in any in front of any restaurant or any hotel establishment, where it's us. It's us being the bad boys.
We're always loitering, spreading our stickers all over the place. Business card.
which were also in your pocket, Brian.
That's right. Oh, was I handing out stickers?
You were.
Nice. Good.
You were.
On Saturday, I got to meet somebody pretty interesting, Mr. Brian Clan, Cobra Clan.
Cobra Clan
had me pissing my pants on fucking Saturday night. I think was it Saturday night or Friday night?
It was Saturday night.
I mean, pissing my pants. Like I was like, dude, you gotta get away from me because I'm dying. Like making me laugh so much. He was one thing that he said that I want to bring up is he said something to me in regards to he wanted to thank me and thank us for the entertainment that we put out every week. And he was just really, that's why he came. He didn't buy anything. He didn't plan on buying anything. He didn't even want to go to the con. He came just for us. And when he said that, I was kind of like, it struck me a little bit. And I was like, dude, well, we only come here for you. We only come here for each other. Like the toys are always secondary, So, he also said that, he appreciates, the camaraderie that he sees between us all. He laughs at, the fuck you Doms and how JD and Dom go at each other and how Gary's always the angel and supposed to the devil. I'm not looking, I can't say it right, but he's always, got to point us in the right direction. And at one point, Brian came over and he's like, Brian, you're the whole reason why everybody watches the show. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember that? He goes, you are the show. And Brian's like, me? And he's like, yeah, you're the reason. And it was just things like that just had me fucking going. It was great. Brian, do you remember any of that?
Yeah, I think I do remember that. Saturday, I was not out of my mind. Yeah, I do remember that.
At one point, he was telling us, he was like, yeah, you got to come out. My wife is beautiful. My wife is hot. He's like, Brian, come out. I'll get you laid.
Yeah, no. Well, that's what he says. He says, Brian, come out. I'll get you laid. My wife is hot. And I'm like, wait a minute. Are you? You're one of them swinger dudes with that gold chain on.
He did.
Oh, he's in the chat. Look at him right here. Listen, I'm still waiting for that picture of your hot wife, dude.
He said, Brink is the glue.
There you go. That's what he was saying. Right?
Nice.
Oh,
But
man.
just so everybody knows, if you ever see a picture of me out there with a big gold rope chain, it was his. It wasn't mine. He's walking around with this big gold chain. He had his dad with him too. His dad was so lit. I mean, so I don't know. Brian had to be, in 40 or whatever in his 40s. So his dad's got to be at least 20 years his senior. And he was chilling. He was out there like, yeah, screaming and, like having fun, pulling people to the side and talking to them. I don't know if anybody got to chop it up with him, but he was a great dude too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he was.
I want to say it was like early on Saturday when I saw him. It was like pretty early on. We talked for a good, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes. Talked for a while. And then we did the third party panel, and he was kind of sitting diagonally from us, and he kept looking back. And I'm like, kind of give him the head nod and all that stuff. But he heard Dust. So Dust was sitting right next to us. And he kept hearing Dust making comments. And then he just dove out of his seat onto his knees right in front of Dust. He's like, Dust, my man, I've been wanting to meet you. And introduced himself and all that stuff.
Yeah, that was cool. Dust was like, I got proposed to in the middle of the third party.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, but man, it's times like that just make these events so much fun.
Yeah,
A lot of little moments. It's cool.
You know what else I thought was? I mean, stop me. You guys talk as much as you want, but what I thought was cool too was I seeing all the dudes from Figure Action Podcast together. Because I mean, us, we kind of spoiled. We get to see each other all the time, like
Yep.
you know, basically at least 4 or 5 times a year. Those dudes probably the first or second time they're all together. You know what I mean? And to be in that setting, it was just dope. I was happy for them. It's like, oh shit, look at them all, you know, having
Yep.
a good time together and shit.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
so you got to see them together, right? We met. Well, first time I met Dave in
Yeah,
real
same
Oh,
life.
true
here.
Star Screamer. Yeah, all
Yeah.
of us.
Yeah, right.
True Strong Stream.
Which is weird because it didn't feel like it was the first time, you know, having talked to him in so many hangouts and stuff like that before.
Yep.
But seeing those guys together, seeing the whole crew for the Friday night, you know, Masterpiece
Oh, yeah, that-
Theater all together,
Mhm.
right? It was
Yeah.
pretty awesome to see them. You get to meet Josh's family, and even the guys in Michigan that came down together and coordinated. You know, and the fact that they continue to do stuff. I spent a lot of time talking with Eric and Leon, and you know, it was, I don't know, that was really cool too. Just that they got, you know, they have their own events and things like that as part of the realm with you know, being active without these big activities all the time. So it was good to see all the groups together.
Yeah, man.
I
Yeah,
like-
because
I like
it is special to get your full cast together
Mhm.
and hang out.
Mhm.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm glad Sam made it out to this one because he
Yeah,
was like missing
Sam.
piece of those dudes, right? And
Yeah.
Sam was so happy. He was all over the place. Like, you know what I mean? He couldn't really, everybody kept grabbing him. Like when we first saw him, we were like, we're going to lunch. He was like, all right, I'm coming, but I can't leave right now. Like, all right, we'll see you later. But
I think that was one of my highlights, meeting him,
Mhm.
seeing him face to face.
Yeah,
We were back, like, seriously, Saturday. We were on like the same peeing schedule, so we kind of made a joke out of it. It was like, he walks in after me like every time I went to the bathroom. He's like, "Hey, what brings you to a place like this?" Or, you know what I mean? Like, we're hitting on each other and shit like that. It was pretty funny.
two hobbits, one stall.
Yep.
Just,
Yeah. There we go.
Oh,
I do think it's important to thank Jason Lowry and mention
Absolutely.
the Toys for Tots drive,
That's
and
awesome.
the generosity for everybody who brought that in. That was really an impressive haul. And everyone jokes about their personal hauls, right? It's kind of thing that you do. We like to talk about things we picked up and stuff, which we might get to in a minute or two. But I thought that was really successful, and he put a lot of effort in coordinating that and communicating it, and making sure that stuff all is getting delivered for that. So I appreciate everybody who did contribute, you know, one way or the other to that endeavor. It's great.
yeah. And I think, did he help coordinate getting people lodging?
He
As well?
did.
So that's
Yes,
awesome.
he did. So
He also coordinated the entire Agabus display too.
he did
Yeah,
that as well.
Dude, talk
the,
about
the
coordination.
intelligence, like, it was great that way he set it up, because I know Hanny
With the ropes, right?
having some issues with
With
you know,
shrinkage?
with shrinkage, five
Mhm.
finger discount type activity, but I think that layout that he did was minimized those types of activities, because the way it locked you into the booth and you had 2 exits, and the way they organized the help and looking at the the countertops and stuff like that. I think he did a great job, really good job on that. So and the display itself was amazing with regard to just the accent pieces on the entrance and the exit, and all the miniature displays that he had with the multiple figures that he was showing off and everything. It was really nice. So,
And it was nice meeting people's significant others and things like that as well.
Jimmy.
Oh,
That was a big
oh yeah, oh yeah.
So of course we always tease Eric B, right?
yeah.
Because he shares a Facebook profile with his wife. So it was nice to see like she exists in real life and stuff like that with his kids. And Jim had his wife there.
Yeah, Jim and Katie.
Yep.
And I was talking to her similar like I was talking to JD's girl 2 years ago in Chicago, or 3 years ago now. But it was like, I was like, so this is your first like main event? She's like, oh God, yeah. And I was like, wait till you see the culture that you're gonna absorb.
Right.
And so I did end up talking to her the end of the day on Saturday, I think. Or something. So I was like, "So what do you think of the culture?" And she was so sweet. She's like, "I think it's great." And I was like, "Oh man."
Oh, Bots in the Sky says, "Don't get Dave started."
Yeah,
So I got to
he's-
meet his wife Alex, and I got to meet Jim's wife Kate. So now I got 2 more girlfriends on the roster.
Uh-oh.
But I mean, he set me up. I mean, not for nothing. Keep set me up. Bots in the Skies, right? He introduces me to his wife, and he's like, "You got to watch out for this one. I'm just letting you know now, right?" So he just set me up. Like literally, he turned around the next second over. I put my arm on the wall next to her. Like
So,
he
How
turns
you
around.
doing?
He goes, "Man, you can't give me a minute."
Yep. And we got a
No.
nice picture of Dave trying to squeeze in there for a smooch.
All jokes aside, all the wives of all the significant others, everybody, just a pleasure. Like really, like such great people. Like
Yeah.
you expect to see some stank, like some of them at least, or somebody be like, I'm kind of bored. I want to go home. Nobody was like that. Everybody
Yeah.
was
Everybody's
smiling,
in good
laughing,
spirits.
and
Yeah.
it was great.
Yeah,
Um,
we got Robert D's wife. She's awesome too. I got to meet her Saturday as well, I think.
I think she was a little surprised about how everybody was because she just kept saying, "You guys are too nice. Get out of here."
Oh,
You're
everybody
so
kept
nice."
congratulating her on passing the bar exam.
Mhm.
Yeah, the bar exam.
What were you saying, Gary? Sorry.
I was just I was just mentioning another couple. So with Brandon and Melita, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I talked to them in Panera and stuff. It's everybody's just in good spirits. You know what I mean?
You know
And,
what? She was handing out some green liquor. She's the one that got me messed up. I remember this now. It was the rock party. She's like, "Hey, you want a shot?" I'm like, "Sure." And then
Take
so I did
accountability,
it, and I just like
Brian.
I was
Right, yeah,
still
exactly.
holding the cup, and I looked down. She refilled it on me. She's like, "Here, have another one." I was like, "Oh, jeez." Oh, he killed
Did
me.
I miss that part of the party, Eric?
Your
Maybe.
wife enjoyed it.
Oh,
Yes,
Just
he
kidding,
did.
bro. Just
He
kidding.
did. He did.
She was so nice too. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody so nice.
yeah, it's nice to get, all of the, I don't know, like getting all the significant others there and letting everybody see how it actually, what it's actually about. I don't know. It means a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
just seeing-
Chan did a
yeah.
great job at all that, man.
dude,
Yeah.
Chan's work ethic is ridiculous.
She's an animal.
Yeah, just the work she put in for the ROC party was crazy.
Yeah, those t-shirts she made too, the cancer awareness t-shirts.
yeah.
Yep.
My Chan, if you're listening, my wife thanks you. I'll thank you on my own later. But she loved the t-shirt too. So I see all the girls were so happy to get those t-shirts. It was great.
Yeah, she baked the cake and all those cookies. The cookies.
Oh,
which
don't
were
start.
delicious.
4 different types of cookies. Chocolate peanut butter cupcakes,
Muffins.
blueberry muffins.
scones.
Dude, I went to.
Wait, there were scones?
Well, some of the muffins were really baked like a scone.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then there was
cake.
the realm cake, and then we even had one to give to Agabus.
Nice.
So refresh me, right? She provided those on what day of the weekend?
Friday
Katie?
night.
That's Friday.
Friday night.
Right, that's right. And then on Saturday, we were back in the suite where the ROC
Oh, yeah.
party was, and then the strangest thing happened. I like a small squirrel. Or
Dave
some other-
excuses himself from the table
You guys,
and starts clambering around the room, and you see him opening up drawers, and just like a squirrel trying to find his nut, he hid fucking cookies on Friday night.
and the thing is, this isn't his room. You guys have to understand. It's not
the rock
his room.
suite.
It's not his drawer. It's not his dresser. In his room for later. This is like in the ROC suite where Pinkerton's family was staying. Like he took it upon
And, like,
himself to
And, like, everybody in the room was like, "Oh, I wish we had some more cookies." And
Yeah,
like, fucking
exactly.
Dave is going around finding his hidden treasures that he left Friday night.
You know what it was,
Motherfucker.
right? There were so many people in the rock party that those cookies were flying. Not for
Yeah.
nothing, they were flying. And for me, I like them all, but the oatmeal ones have a little special place in my heart. So I said, I don't want this right now. I don't want to eat it. I'm not gonna put it in my pocket. The cookies are fucking this big.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. True.
I'm like, so I fucking wrapped one up in a napkin and I opened one of the drawers and I said, I hope this is here tomorrow. And the next day, we were all in the room, doing whatever we were doing in the room. And all of a sudden, I go into the thing and I get the cookie out, and everybody's like, "What the fuck? Where did you get that?" I hid it from last night, man. Shut the fuck up.
Damn, I should have did that.
Yeah. It's,
Because people were taking like plates of them. They were like putting them in between plates and taking them. There's so many. Oh. I did get one.
It was so good.
I'm glad
Oh,
other
the-
people got. I mean, I can have chain cookies almost whenever I want. So
She makes it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I would have done the same thing, but just like Brian said, I can pretty much have these whenever. You know what I mean?
I am kind of missed out on. Kind of bummed I missed out on Chan's muffin though. That's,
Can we get off? He's not getting it. JD, are you getting it? Like, he's
I'm
talking
getting
about
Nice.
cookie.
Muffins,
'Cause
cookies.
I'll
I get
slap
it.
him. I'll slap him for you.
It's fine. We all know the truth here, fellas.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we all love.
Ain't nobody
and
getting muffins,
biscuits.
cookies like I'm getting them. Edible or
Oh
not.
gosh.
So, before we go into, I guess, we were there for something else, right? We were there for like a Toy Con. I will say, I
There was
did have a
toys
lot
there.
of great conversations. I don't remember his last name, but dude's name was Mike. He was from across the hallway from
Price.
Mike
Yes.
Price.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Price and Craig Robbins. I was in a little triangle with the two of them, and let me tell you, those conversations will never be aired. But I had such a good time talking to those guys on. I think it was Friday night. It was amazing. Like, I hope to see them again because those guys are the type of dudes I can fucking party with. Like, basically, they were both really fucking funny. Craig, I've hung out with before, but between the two of them, they're both really tall gentlemen too. So I'm just a little dude in between them all, and they're like nudging me and pushing me, and we're laughing. And I'm like, "Do you guys realize you could throw through a fucking door in any second?" But it was a good time. And Leon, I gotta point out, me and Leon actually got to chop it up longer than we have in the past, and that was nice because it's like only if I kept in shape would we be like mirror images of each other in a sense.
Yeah.
Our lives like
Keep
are
cheating, Dave.
so close.
Yeah.
But no,
He's a good dude.
yeah, he's a good dude.
I talked to Matt B. Soar, I think, for a while on Saturday as well. Is good. Catching up with people you have never met. It's awesome.
Cool. So you guys want to talk toys?
Sure.
Talk toys?
Sure.
You want to talk about exclusives,
Hell yeah.
or do you want to talk about something else?
We could start there.
All right. What do you guys think of the exclusives? Kind of curious.
I wasn't excited for them at first when they were announced, but then eventually, like, one of which was I think the bulkhead when Dave pulled it out and he was playing with it and back in the room. It
pulled it out.
actually, yeah, yes, of course, he pulled out his bulkhead, and it was surprisingly it was a figure that I thought came out. They did a really good job on it. So
I agree. I thought that one.
I think
Seeing
we were
it,
like kind of miring at it, remember?
Mhm.
Like when both of us were looking at it.
I had a bit of FOMO for missing that one actually because the mold really fit the character and being kind of like a bulkhead, like animated, inspired / Prime is how it looked like to me. I thought it was a good choice, and it looked cool. I thought it looked fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to go with my Roadbuster, but we missed all of them. At first, the only one I really wanted was that Rat-Bat.
Senator Rat-Bat, yeah.
Yeah, so they were, by the time we got up there, they didn't have that. So I'm like, whatever.
I heard that was like one of the first ones to go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that was one of the first ones to go.
And then you know, I thought Chan was going to go for that azalea, but
Oh, they had like one azalea on the table, right, for a while.
yeah,
What do you mean? One from last year? Like one?
no,
No,
no, it was like
the LA convention,
it
right?
was like orange and yellow and
Was
pink.
that for sale though?
No, it wasn't for sale yet. That's coming out.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
is it?
Oh, I
I
thought
thought
yeah.
they had a
I thought
price
that was-
on it and everything.
I thought
Yeah,
that
it's
was an
had
exclusive.
Yeah, no,
Was
it
it?
wasn't for sale there. I didn't see it.
Yeah,
It
no,
was,
it wasn't
it's
for sale.
sometime in 2020, like January or something like that.
They had one of something. I know it was an azalea because it had this small little box. It
Was it the
one
green one?
on.
No,
I think it
Ages
was.
3 and up had the green like medic version from Toronto.
No, it was on the exclusive table. It was on
Mhm.
the exclusive tables. They had one of it, and they just put it out on the table.
Oh.
And like the first batch of people that like I remember when I was done, it was still there. I don't know if anybody grabbed it, but I can't. I never looked in to see what it was. There was the black one or one that was from L.A. or whatever. But they had one sitting there. But I don't know which one, what it was. But it was a small little box. It was the small little, usually those boxes that it came in. But I don't know. I'm assuming somebody did buy it. I don't know what it was though. But it was on. It was at the exclusive desk when they had all the like lined up on the table. So
Yeah, I thought the Sphinxes were the two colors. You know, everyone knows I like the crazy colors sometimes and stuff, but I didn't pick it up the green and pink one, and then the surprise one that was
Pharaoh,
revealed
yeah.
with like, the black and gold pharaoh was kind of a neat play on the character. But I thought the G2 prototype colors was kind of tough because you know a lot of the other G2 MP figures from the different third party companies aren't quite as I guess available. So I could see that not appealing to as many people. And that seemed to be the one that was the only available the longest throughout the morning there.
Yeah, I think that was one still in the afternoon, evening hours is still there.
So.
But they were, there was an excitement for them. The line was long, really long, right out the door. Like there was a secondary door to the left of the entry, and it went all the way out past the artist alley and artist room, and it stayed pretty long for the day, for the good morning hours.
Wow.
So.
And
Then I think Chosen Prime had their the Planet X G2 Grimlock exclusive that sold out pretty fast too.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah, it was gone. It was gone within like the first couple hours.
Yeah.
Wow. I wasn't expecting that one to be a big seller.
No,
Maybe
it
the
looked
Friday night
beautiful.
that Friday night early pickup might dwindle the stock a bit too.
Yeah, because I think that they had low stocks of. From what I've heard, like when we were just talking about the toys with everyone, that's great. That's part of it. Like people just learn about what quantities are there for the exclusives and stuff like that. And I think there was only like 200 or 250 of the Grimlock, and I think the Senate Rat Bat was also a low quantity. It had quantities, just that everybody was buying it at that. Like if there was 100 of those pre-sales, so all 100 of those people bought that Senator Rat Bat. So by the time it got into the dealer floor, it's probably with low in quantities.
Did any of you get that Pharaoh, the gold and black one?
I did. I like the box. The box was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like that
The way
bubble on it.
The way they presented. Yeah, they presented it as like a tomb.
Has anyone opened it? Like, how is it? Like, have you seen it?
There's two faces. It comes with two face plates. One of which is awesome.
One looks really cool.
Like a kind of a demon evil face.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's got like a good template. So I'm definitely gonna put that face on it rather than the other faces. But it looked cool. Like it's black and gold, black and gold. Black and yellow, whatever you want to.
Dom wouldn't have known, but I opened it. He didn't want me.
Yeah. It's funny because all of them were trying to open my toys when we got back, especially my G2 in plastic, those plastic seals. And I think every time somebody picked up something that they knew was mine, Eric was giving them permission to open their toys, which was my toy. So it was funny.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say that I think they were pretty cool as well. I wasn't as quite excited for them. as I have been for some in the past. But I think I've just outgrown that part of the con for me. However, that black and gold Mirage is pretty cool
It
looking.
was pretty cool looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what, though, Brian, I'm with you. I think that it's kind of like I think how an exclusive should be. It should be like a nice, like icing on the cake type offering,
Right.
and not a
I
you know,
need to have. Yeah.
yeah, like a critical character or a critical piece, that you can't fill another way, or something where you're gonna have to wait 2 or 3 years for it to be available in a different capacity to fill. So where you can be excited for it, but not feel like this need to make it all about that. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
And I think all the exclusives did that. I think the one that could have had with some remorse in regard to that would be the Senator Ratbat. I know he was a big character. So I can see people being like, oh, I really want that character, and it just was an exclusive and it sold out really fast. So
Well, they haven't come out with anything in a few months, right?
Yeah.
It's been a minute. So for me, it was just more about picking up that line because I collect that line. Whether they were exclusives or they were just going to be at the show, I probably would have picked them both up, just because it's the first time seeing both of those. So I mean, Bulkhead, that's basically an anime character, right?
yeah, but like
Yeah, the animated.
but
Yeah,
I,
but he? I don't remember him in IDW, but it's
no, he
only
was in
him
the
in that
comics.
mix.
No. So that would fit that mold that like
Right.
that Gary's saying. It's like a one-off. You really don't need it in the
Right.
if you're collecting MMC reformatted IDW characters, but like Senator Ratbat was big in the comics and everything. It's like you're doing an exclusive for a major character in an IDW line that you guys are leaders of, and I can see people being pissed at me trying to get that. And granted, it's a remold, but like at the end of the day, people, if they were looking to complete a collection of IDW stuff that they were putting out, that would be one of those figures.
Yeah, both were remolds. Like the Senator Ratbat was done they remolded it, but it was done quite a bit differently than the other
Yeah,
mold.
quite, yeah. It had
And then-
some retooling in it, a lot of retooling.
And the Bulkhead didn't have a lot of retooling at all. It was just
No.
basically the head, but the head itself was just beautiful. Like it was nicely done. So it brought a lot
And the
of
paint
good stuff to
and the
figure.
paint apps, the paint apps with the chest and everything made it kind of sealed the deal in the whole presentation of that figure. So and then I looked at I wasn't going to get that Planet X G2 Grimlock, but then when I saw it in the case and how vibrant the colors were and the bright the blue was and just how it popped, and I was like, shit, I fucking might as well pick it up because it looks really cool, and I did. So, but that one also sold out, which it's a one-off thing. I was able to grab the red exclusive, the Fire Blast Grimlock that they did, their homage to the Grimlock that they did back in the day.
Hey, Chuck's in the chat. Chuck, we got an extra spot. You want to jump in quick? I'll send you a link.
Say again, Brian? I'm sorry.
Oh no, that red Grimlock is pretty interesting. I remember that.
Yeah. They did. That was an exclusive that they did, but there was an online. That was their online exclusive that you were able to pick up. I think you could still pick it up. I think it's available. I haven't checked, but other than that was it. Like, right, for exclusives.
There was a surprise exclusive from the Agabus booth. He had the shattered glass version of Magic Square MP scale prime.
That wasn't it. He had two.
Oh, what else did he have?
No one had the shattered glass, and no one had the sleep mode. He had the sleep mode there as well.
Yeah, I told people that, and they're telling me I was wrong, that it was
no. It
was the
Well, it's funny though. We've seen the sleep mold, at least in the news. That shattered glass one, we did not even see that advertised anywhere. Like, we didn't know that was coming. Well, we didn't know it was coming then. We probably knew it was coming. But yeah, wow. So he had both of them. That's
was
cool.
that sleep mode the one that he was displaying too in the display, GD?
Yep.
That was the sleep mode one.
Yep. He had them both displayed.
That's pretty cool.
That's crazy.
And
I can't buy so many more primes again. I've already got all those in MP10 form.
Brian had a way of creating buyer's remorse for me before I even opened my purchase.
Oh, really?
Well, no, I was curious. I did pick up the Transform Element Prime because I know it's no MP. Listen, I wanted it as an action figure. I'm not going to transform it. I know it's not MP44, all that stuff. And I was talking to Brian. He's like, "Oh, what did you pick up?" He's like, "Oh, really? That's interesting." And I was like, "Oh, have you seen it?" He's like, "Yeah, I checked it out already." I'm like, "Oh, okay." You're like, "Yeah, I look forward to seeing you post it on the Shameless group."
And Brian, you didn't find anyone selling for $100 that one, right?
Not
'Cause
that I
think
looked very hard.
Yeah,
no.
yeah, me neither.
No.
But Gary, I remember talking to you. You picked it up for like 140, right? You said.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, if it was like 110, I would have picked it up. But
it's fine. It's exactly what I thought. And Eric had his there. He offered to let me check it out, and I just didn't have the patience. I found it, so I'm like, yeah, that's my purchase. So it was one thing I kind of had on a mental list for the trip, so it worked.
Did you open it?
I did. We opened it this week,
yeah.
so it's cool. I mean, it definitely. Listen, we don't have to go into this crazy discussion I once talked about. I had the Magic Square.
Yeah.
I like the look of it, but it's super, super light. So he's definitely, the TE is a little heftier, but it has more of the animated look. But it definitely does not look like MP44. You're right, man, about that. Because that was the first time I'd seen an MP44 in the cases actually open, and it doesn't compare, with the paint and the look there. But for what it is, it's $300 cheaper. So.
And that pose that they had it in, like jumping over the trailer and fucking, that figure is so articulated. Like that pose that it had, in that display that they had it in, it was pretty cool.
And Dom, I'm going to say thanks again, just because I know people often give you a hard time and this and that, but you guys, Dom is always the first one to help source stuff for other people when they're looking for it, whether it's at retail or in a show like this. And he picked up an exclusive from another show that he didn't need as a duplicate, so he sold it to me for a really good, very, very super fair price.
Oh, thank you.
Which is cool. So I was able to actually pick up 2 pieces for myself, so that was good. I was happy with that.
Yeah, it was like, I when I walked through the dealership floor, it was amazing. Some of those dealers, like I've seen numerous times, like time and time again, and it was nice to say hello to them. They always ask the question when they see my face: "Are you set up? Or are you dealing?" I'm like, "No, not this time around." I really wanted to just enjoy it with my friends and not worry about trucking things in, setting up, and losing all that time that you would have together going to lunch and bullshitting with everybody. But it like the one thing that amazed me, and I saw, and I was just in utter shock, was that rack of G1 Jetfires that this guy had.
Oh yeah,
and
that
I'm
was
like,
pretty wild.
I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And like, he had a whole fucking rack. There was over like 40 or 50 of them just stacked up.
And they
like a big sign saying, "Hey, yeah," he was keeping like, and like there was a sign like, "If for prices just asked." I'm like, holy shit! And some were like pristine white, like beautiful. Like the boxes were all beat up, but like some of the figures themselves was like really good white, glossy, no yellowing, and just amazing. And just to see a 40, 50 like G1 Jet place was amazing.
In box, yeah.
To me.
And some
In
of them
box,
are even
yeah.
the Macross versions.
Yeah,
I
I pointed that out to this one
Chuck?
guy. Yeah. What's this guy doing?
Fact Chuck is here.
What's up, Chuck?
Yo,
Hi, Chuck.
what's up, kids?
Chuck.
What's up,
And
Chuck?
Chuck actually encouraged me for a purchase because he bought that toy New Age Megatron, the toy version, Chuck. When
Yeah.
I saw you,
got that?
yeah, and I went over and I went ahead and purchased it myself because I'm not into the New Age line, but like at least if they were doing they did a one-off toy version of the Megatron, and I heard so many good things about the Megatron that they did. So it's like, you know what, I'll buy the toy version, and stick with my whatever Magic Square comes out for the toon color, the toon version.
They did a chrome version, like a toy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't.
That's what a lot of people are doing. They're doing the
I didn't
Chrome
see that.
in the regular.
Wow.
Chosen Prime had it.
I didn't even.
Yeah.
I haven't. So that was new for that show then.
Yeah.
I don't even remember
Probably
seeing
early
pics of it.
release.
Yeah.
Yeah. but it was beautiful. Like the chrome was nice, and I actually opened it up yesterday, playing with it over here at my house. So while I was
Yeah,
doing
I
some
don't know
work.
how he
And
got it so early, but he had it.
And I saw it in your hands, Chuck. I was like, really? And I looked at it, and they were replenishing all the time. Like, I remember when I walked over there, they were already sold out of it. And like, I asked the guy if they had any more, and he's like, yeah, we're gonna replenish it. And I think they replenished it maybe four times over before it sold out for good. But I don't know if they ever had any leftovers for Sunday, because I just went in, did my one purchase for a figure that I knew I was going to get, and we actually, left and camped out of there.
Yeah, they had more on Sunday. I was checking.
Yeah, you did. Like I'm assuming that they did, because every time it sold out, the guy would bring out the box and put more up. So
Yeah. That Transformerland booth was amazing. I wish I had.
Dude, it was crazy.
Next
the stuff
time,
that
he
guy
said,
had.
I talked to him. He said he only does East Coast TF cons.
He just does the East Coast TF cons.
Yeah, that's the only thing he'll go to.
He was at Chicago though last year, wasn't he?
He was there last year. Yeah, he was more in the where Chosen Prime's corner was over there back last year.
No, I'm just telling you.
When we were, yeah. Well, some people live close to the East Coast and the West Coast, so
I don't know why TF Source wasn't there. They're out of Vegas and Pennsylvania, and they're at Toronto. So
yeah,
I don't know why TF Source wasn't there.
But I loved Tanny's booth. It was just fun just to walk through. It was so well set up, and the displays were just. I think he had the better displays. I mean, much more imaginative and.
Am I the only one that's guilty of walking by those plush Transformers and like having arguments of not buying one? I'm always engaged. I want to buy one, and every time I walk over there, pick one up, and I just like, no, I'm not going to buy a plush Transformer toy.
I bought them before, so
yeah. I bought them in Chicago 2016 before anyone knew me, so I couldn't be judged walking out of the floor. I bought all five Dinobots.
Yeah, like the one that I always have my eye on is the Soundwave, and then the Starscream always sells out. Like I was ready to pick up a Starscream, but by the time I walked over there, like the third or fourth time, I saw it was sold out. So those girls do a wonderful job at that's amazing product. They have like somewhat articulated arms and stuff like that too. So it's really nice what they do.
And it looks like they're making more stock too, because they're usually sold out.
Oh yeah, crazy.
That's
Yeah,
true.
they brought a lot.
Either that or there's less people there.
Yeah.
I didn't have a lot of time to shop. I didn't have much money to shop for other stuff after, because I didn't expect there to be so many goddamn exclusives.
Yeah.
All my money went into exclusives this time, basically.
But you don't have to get them all.
Which one was your favorite one, Chuck?
Bulkhead.
It was.
Yeah. See, that's everybody's. That's a surprise hit. That Bulkhead.
Wow. Does everybody try to pose his shoulders yet?
Not
So
that bad.
I won't forget that from that mold.
He's pretty posable. I mean, I've got him in some decent poses since I've had him. He's pretty cool.
Yeah, his chest is remolded, and so is his head. Well, his head's obviously new, but the chest is new too. He's got that V that Bulkhead has.
Did you end up picking up the Planet X exclusive, Chuck? Or
Yeah,
no?
I got them all.
You got them all.
Yeah, it's a fucking dent, dude. I'm telling you, it's like that's close to $500 and some odd dollars. So to get them all.
Well,
so.
He told me
we
the
only
story.
had 120 of the Grimlocks, so I was worried about getting them. And Lance Park, Friday night, was talking about, I'm like, oh man, I hope I'm going to come in really early tomorrow because I want to get it. He goes, I'll sell you mine, I don't care. I was like, really?
Oh, nice.
So I was like, well, how much do you want for it? He goes, just retail. I couldn't believe it. So there you go.
Wow,
Nice.
Yeah, it's so nice.
that's great.
And
Nice.
if you were in the MMC line, like I was, I don't know, 10th or 15th in the MMC in the line total. And I get over to the MMC, and there were some people, there's vendors in front of me. Like I saw Chris Pinkerton and stuff. But the point is, I got my exclusives, and I ran over to Chosen Prime, and they only had like 5 or 6 Grimlocks left. So
Hmm.
it's if you wanted all the exclusives, you had to be in the MMC line first. Or else
Oh,
you're
for
gonna-
sure. Yeah, I remember that first Chicago show. Like, I got on all the wrong lines. I didn't even know. I was like, I'm at my first con. I'm gonna stand in line. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then they're like, we're out. I'm like, oh, I stood in this line for nothing. Great.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny is like every year, usually, like if you're in the dealer room prior, they'll sell you their exclusive before the door opens.
Mm-hmm.
This year, they were like, no, 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 like for the people
Yeah,
only.
they were really tight with
Whi-
that.
Yeah,
which,
I
which is
remember.
good and bad. You know what I mean?
I remember
But you got to hook
resting
up the AJ
last
though.
time, helping Dom get his stuff set up, and the
Yeah.
guys from Toy Dojo came over.
Toy
Hey,
Dojo,
listen,
yeah.
if you guys want any of the exclusives, let us know. We'll set them aside, and then we can settle up later. But we'll set them aside for you at least. Just let us know what you want.
Yeah, JD,
Wow.
remember that day? You were like,
Yeah.
wow.
Wow, really?
Cool.
Like I just met you guys. Like, what the heck?
It got to a point I thought I wasn't getting them, so I pulled Antoine. I'm like, Antoine, you getting any of the exclusives? He's like, no. I'm like, yes, you are. I had poor Antoine online with me with my money in his hand until like they started letting people buy them, and I was just like, all right,
Yeah.
cool. Thank you, Antoine,
got-
if you're listening.
So you guys must have got in line really early before the dealer room opened, I guess, to get
Yes,
in the
yes.
front of these lines.
Yeah, I was in
What
line
time?
at 6:30.
Paul, I think I went to bed at 6:30.
I was partying. I was at the hotel escorting Wayne up to his room 2 times until 2 a.m. in the morning. And I don't know. I just couldn't sleep, so I just went and got in line.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah,
So
we
you
woke up.
stayed in? Holy crap!
Yeah, then I went over to the other hotel where Larry was staying because I was staying with Jason. And
They had the sign. They had the sign out there Friday night, like where the line would start. They had like the post where here's the line start, and that's where everybody lined
Were there
up.
people there with sleeping bags and whatnot?
No, just sitting there. Antoine was there. I don't think Antoine ever sleeps. He was there when I got there, and he wasn't even in line.
Just hanging out.
Just hanging out, talking to people. But the funny part is, Dame Chalk was at the show, and I was talking to Antoine yesterday, and I guess someone was talking about Dame Chalk being there, and he goes, "Dame Chalk was there?" Because Antoine's always pulling news from Dame Chalk's site or Facebook page, and yeah, I'm like, "Yeah, you didn't know?" I thought he was joking. I'm like, "Didn't you know Dame Chalk was there?" And he goes, "No, I didn't." I showed him a picture of him. He goes, "Oh my god."
Yeah, I met him too and talked to him for a good bit. He's a really nice guy. He's
Yeah,
awesome.
I talked to the MMC guy at the reps for quite a bit because their table was kind of there was not as much traffic Sunday. Sunday was really light this year.
Yeah, it really was.
So I found out some pretty cool stuff. Like the one guy is Vince. Everyone knows him, and he does a lot of the coloring and some of the deco work. And gives some advice on some of the mold improvements. But we talked about MMC and we talked about they were supposed to have Desaris there at the show, but it just didn't. It was supposed to arrive Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, it didn't
It
make
just got delayed. And then the interesting part, the other guy, I'm not going to be racist. The white guy, I don't know his name.
Jay, the bald guy.
Okay, yeah. It's good to know that. So talking to him, and we were talking for quite a long time.
The white guy.
And he's like, "Oh, I'm also the Make Toys rep." I said, "Oh, okay. So what's going on with them?" He goes, "Well," and he could tell he was pained, and he really couldn't talk about stuff. But he said, "Well, let's just say that the owner doesn't. They're still around. They're still coming out with stuff. They don't care about the criticism from the fandom, like the fandom wants the clone heads, wants the headmasters. They're going to come out with them when they come out with them. They don't care about the criticisms, and they're just going to go at their own pace. And there's other stuff going on. It seemed like, but he wasn't going to talk about it, so just. But yeah, they're still around and still coming out with stuff.
Let's do it. Come on.
Yeah,
There was rumors that Dirge was gonna be for sale, like at the show, but it never happened. But the pre-order went up like that.
Yeah, I was hoping for that too.
Funny,
Part of the reason I got
mentioned
in line real early.
Yeah, I mentioned that, and it was kind of like a closed door where, after I mentioned it, he was like, nope, we're not selling that. We're not, we don't have it. So I think they might have had it and they were told not to put it out. So
It's right there. I see it. It comes in a box. The box is there.
It's just because the prototypes are showing up places. That's all.
Yeah.
So everybody thought it was. Oh, they're gonna have it at TFCon. Yeah.
Yeah, bulkhead's really good. The center wrap at the plastic is a little bit brittle, like when my tabs were strained right out of the box or stressed right out of the box. So like,
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Maybe you had a heavy-handed QC guy.
possibly. And the Mirage, both Mirages are just fantastic, but I like those crazy colors.
Which one do you like, the gold and black or the watermelon color?
Well, I like the watermelon
If you had to pick
G2 one because does everyone know the story about do you guys know soooo from online?
Yes.
There's all the pictures and stuff.
Yes.
Mhm.
He owned one of the
Prototypes?
G2 Jazz prototypes, and he accidentally
Or
left it in
Mirage?
a Mirage. Sorry, a little tired. He accidentally left it in a taxi, I think, in New York City, and it's gone. There's like only a few of those made.
Oh.
It was
He's
just,
from
you know,
he's from England, isn't he? soooo?
Yeah, he was visiting.
Wow.
It was at a toy. It was after a toy con or a TF con.
Oh, I thought you were gonna be like, oh, he left it in a bag of like Starburst or something, and it melted it onto that and made
I
it
was
color.
Same thing, Brian. I swear to God.
So I was talking to oh great now Aegis 3 Boris. So Boris worked on the Pharaoh one, and he said yeah, started working on it a bit late. They had he didn't say who came up with the original idea, but it doesn't matter. And he said he did all the decos. Hell, he did all the decos for the G2 Mirage, all the the alligator and stuff. And he was working on the Pharaoh, and they were going to have hieroglyphics on the side, on the top of the car, on both sides of the cockpit. But they ran. He said they ran out of time, but I don't know. Maybe they didn't want to put them on there for some other reason. I don't know. But yeah, it was fun talking to those guys, learning that cool stuff.
Yeah, see, we would have never knew that. I think. You know.
I mean, it
Jack Chucker.
would have added a lot
Chucker,
more
yeah.
to the.
Oh, please. Yeah, you think it would have been better with the hieroglyphics on it?
I mean, it just adds a little bit more to it,
Yeah, I'm surprised that box, the sarcophagus, doesn't have a lick of tape on it. If you grab it just by the top, it'll fall down.
Come right off. Yeah.
But yeah, I had a great time. But I was seriously bonked midday Saturday because I had a lot to drink on Friday. I think I had every round that Robert D bought. I had one from every round.
Oh wow! You actually survived the third round.
Yeah, I had five of those shots because there was extras that came out or whatever, and then
Wow.
one of them, but
5. Yeah, I think I had 2 big ones and 1 little one. Because there was a round of little ones.
Oh man.
But I was at Panera.
I had two. I had 2 big ones, and that's it.
So.
What's that, Chuck?
I kind of missed the rock. I was at Panera, and Dust said, "Hey, make sure you're here by 9:30." So I left Panera around 9:10, and then everybody came flooding down. So I'm like, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we get kicked out of the rock party." It was Bobby and everybody. Yeah, it was Bobby and everybody. I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'll just stay down here then." If they got kicked out.
No, they didn't get kicked out. They were leaving so that we wouldn't get kicked out.
Ah, okay.
Basically,
Well,
but people were up there till like 10, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe.
People were up there for probably longer than that even.
So I missed all that. So I was kind of a little bit upset with myself.
Well, what's great about that hotel, though, Chuck, is that they let everybody congregate in the lobby, hallway, front of the hotel, and they don't say shit.
Nope.
Yeah.
They're like, these people are here spending money. Let them rock.
Yeah, people had coolers, bringing down coolers to the library with their own drinks and stuff.
Craig,
and,
6-packs,
and it was. They didn't give 2 shits what you did.
Yeah.
Robert D was hilarious. I'm not a small guy, and he picked me up like a rag doll. He's like, "Chuck, I'm glad to see you, man."
He picked you up, Chuck?
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Somebody
right off the
picked me
ground.
up.
Give me a big bear hug.
I think it was Lance. I think Lance picked me up off the ground.
Oh yeah, he did that to me twice. He picked me up like a baby.
Yeah, it was good seeing the figure action crowd, and picked up a ton of friend requests after the show this weekend, which is good.
Yeah.
Wow, so you got a total of 10 friends now.
Who, me?
I'm just kidding, Chuck. Jeez.
I almost hit my $5,000 cap, Dave.
What?
Yeah, man.
$5,000, baby.
Yeah.
Chuck
I
will
gotta be
friend
careful who I
anybody.
pick up now.
I better be on that top 10 though. Shit.
Mm.
But
Chuck, with
better start
5,000
posting
friends,
more.
how do you find time to comment on all my posts all the time?
I follow you first, bro.
Oh,
I love me some Chuck. So guys, I guess we all had a great time. I'm sure there's plenty of more stories to go over this TFCon. We're gonna start wrapping up. Before we do, there's a few things I want to mention. Next week on Monday on ETR, they have a big guest. So everybody, please be ready for this. If you're not looking at the screen, the creator and director of The Toys That Made Us, Brian Volk Weiss, will be there on Monday, November 4th at 8 p.m. on ETR. Be there because the guys really pulled a good one out the hat with this, and I look forward to watching this myself. So be there, be in the chat with questions, and get involved. So again, Monday, 8 o'clock, be there.
Yep. And they have also got an upcoming series called The Movies That Made Us as well.
Oh, all right.
And I think season 1, season 2 are available on Blu-ray and DVD. And do you know why, guys? Do you know why this is such a great time to have him on as a guest?
Because
Why?
there's gonna be more.
Oh yeah, get your binge watching pants ready and dig out your delivery coupons because season 3 is dropping on Netflix for 15. So,
all right. With that said, I'm just gonna play that quick video that we played to remind you of all the other great shows we have on the network. So watch them shows, okay? Watch them shows. And as for us, we're here every Tuesday. I'm gonna go down the line, let everybody say their goodbyes, and let you know where they're at, where you can find them. So I'm gonna go off with Chuck first. Last one here, first gonna go out.
Chuck C on Facebook and 30 Tricks on Instagram.
Awesome, Chuck. Thanks for jumping in, man. If you ever want to make it for a real episode, you're down. You're ready. You don't have to show that pretty face, but you can do it just like this if you want. Okay.
and if you do, shave first.
I already shaved.
Or not. I mean,
You did. You're really stubbly this weekend, Chuck. Very stubbly.
It was so weird you kept commenting on that.
I don't mind, Chuck.
Well, thanks, JD.
You're welcome.
So Dominic, let them know.
You can find me in the groups Donna Grasso here Tuesday nights with these guys, and I will catch you at the next convention, whenever that is. I know we got one coming up soon here at
November 9th.
Con.
Yep,
November
Toy Con, New
9th.
Jersey, Parsippany.
Legion Con at 5 o'clock after the show. So come, boys, come through. Let's have some fun. Let's spend some money. Let's
bring your money.
Shoot some shit, and let's have a good time.
Yeah, if you're ready to give up robots for a little bit and get into some mythics, I think it'll be a great time. So if you can make it, definitely come through. We'll all be there. G Money, I know you're sleepy, bro.
I know I'm getting there.
Giving me the
I'm getting there.
Come on, bro.
I'm trying. I'm working on it. No,
Gary doesn't even have to work tomorrow.
I don't. I can't break my habits though. I'm also very old. No, Gary Allen Facebook groups, and if you get a chance, it's a good show to come out and hang out with on the 9th. And I think I'll be the last one for a little while. So
yeah, this will be your last time to see Gary.
That's not true.
For a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, for most
until
of us,
March.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, March.
For most of us too, it might be the last time we see each other until then too.
Yeah.
So come through.
Well, February has ZoloCon, right? Excuse me. And then March has the Orlando TFCon now, right?
GCC.
So
TOCon, yeah.
So wait, did Gary just say he's coming up here for February? Is that what I heard?
I don't know.
That's
That's how
ZoloCon
I'm
is in
understanding.
February, so we'll see. We'll see what happens once things are settled.
I'll get the room ready, Gary.
Exactly. Yeah. See, I already told Dave my plan. He was like, "Oh shit, I never thought of that." I was like, Dave, if I fly into JFK, I can stay by you, then I can drive your car down to the event. You don't have to drive anyone. He's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, I could
You're
just get stoned in my
more
own.
than welcome. You're more than welcome, Gary, to stay in my place too. So if you want to fly into Newark and not fly to JFK, which is you might land in the fucking Atlantic, but flying into JFK,
I
Hey,
appreciate
Gary,
that.
Gary
more than
loves
welcome
Long
to hang
Island
out
traffic.
and
That's
crash
why.
at my place.
We can-
It doesn't matter anyway because Dave stops at my house anyway, and then,
Yeah, right.
that's how he lynches the ride to cross the PA, the Delaware.
Mm.
Dave doesn't like going across the Delaware.
I've done it. I don't like it. No, I don't. After 2+ hours, 3 hours of driving, I'm good.
Oh, come on.
Yeah,
just been
sorry,
there
I don't
forever.
like it, bro. Don't do it. JD.
You can find me JD Brocious on Facebook. Pigment Surgery on Instagram, Xbox Live. Shelf Gravy on Instagram and Facebook. And every Tuesday with these gentlemen. Every other Wednesday on Figure Banging. No show this week. I think we're doing next week. Ace said he needs a break, even though we've had a break.
Yeah, we did.
And yes, Toy Con coming up in 2 weeks. Legion Con after. Don't spend all your loot on the fucking Legions, please. We got some special things
4 legions.
for Legion Con. So
Oh, really?
Dio time.
Yes.
Does Breaking the Mold get a special discount?
no.
Oh, shit.
Maybe there'll be cookies, Dave.
Talk to me after the show. Brian Brink.
Brian Brink in the Facebook groups, of course, at Brinklizer on Instagram. Kind of interesting thing about Instagram is I posted our big group pic from last weekend, and I have people from my other world kind of liking it and seeing it, and I think they're finally starting to get it. Like, whoa, you do know a lot of people with this thing. I was like, I do. And I thought that was pretty cool.
Come at me,
Brian's
bro.
coming out of the booth.
Yeah.
I don't want to forget anybody, Brian. Who was it was Kevin, right? That we met this weekend with his family,
Kevin.
right?
Wow, put me on.
Kenneth
the
or
spot.
Kevin? I can't think.
Oh,
straight.
Kenneth.
Kenneth. It was Kenneth.
Kenneth. Yes, we met Kenneth. He was a
Yeah,
cool dude.
I was glad to meet him too, man. That
Yeah.
was dope. I didn't want to forget anybody.
Yeah, it was funny because he had that long beard, and I try to study up before the con, like, and he didn't have a beard in like his latest profile pictures, so I was like,
Yeah.
that's cool, Kenneth.
Yeah.
Good dude, man. Thanks for coming out. And he's a big supporter of the realm too. It's very
Yeah,
awesome.
good dude. I really like him a lot. And anybody else that I might have forgot or any other guys forgot to mention, it wasn't because we forgot you. It's just because we're tired. So I'm sure a lot of names and faces will come up once we hang this up, and we'll be like, oh, fuck, we forgot to mention this person or that person. But at the end of the day, whether you were there or not, your realm, and you'll be there someday or another. And if you're too afraid to come out, stop being afraid, because everybody that comes never leaves. So get your faces out there and come out. And
I wanted to bring that up, if you're afraid to talk to someone or us or whatever, don't be. Like, for me, I'm the one who's afraid to say, hey, you know what I mean? Don't be nervous.
Yeah, he's right. JD was nervous the first time he met us after doing like 50 episodes with us. So it's okay. It's okay to be afraid.
Yeah.
come up and say
Even
hi.
even still, like I'll get nervous talking to people, or like
Dave
having-
doesn't bite hard. He has his rabies shots anyway.
Nah, I
so.
nibble. I don't bite. It's okay.
Fucking hiding goddamn cookies, you damn squirrel.
All right. Well,
Yo, and if you guys ever need Dave in the back of your seat, car
here we
ride,
go.
feeding you chicken tenders, he's the guy for you, man. He just
I had
just
you well
feeding
fed while you were
tenders.
driving, right?
Oh, it was
Put
great.
a
It was
fucking
great.
chicken tender in a napkin, and you're well fed. I even gave you dessert.
Wow.
It was great. You should have saw it, Gary. It was amazing.
All right, guys. I'm Energon Addict. Find me on Instagram. Find me here on Tuesdays. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll have some better content for you next week. Like I said, we're all exhausted, but thanks for watching.
Say it with me now. Really?